All right, so the Jags have the first pick.
Yes.
This is the only thing we know for sure. Trevor Lawrence. He regionally fits. He was heralded as the best high school quarterback in a decade 3 years ago. He's just gotten better. It's a lot of Justin Herbert. He can run. He's smart. He's got self-awareness. He's got a big arm. Now, he plays with better people than Justin Herbert, but he was also winning national championship, and Justin Herbert was winning the Rose Bowl. So this is a no-brainer. Some people think he's a little thin. Folks, he's fine. He throws a beautiful ball. All right, so number 2, my guess is they're going to move Sam Darnold. I'll go with Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson can run. He's got a whip. I do worry about that he didn't beat good teams in college. But if you're Joe Douglas, you get 4 years of a cheap quarterback. Robert Saleh wants his own guy.
You have to do it.
And by the way, it's a battle in New York for eyeballs. The Giants have gone in free agency. The Brooklyn's winning in the NBA. The Yankees are going to be a World Series favorite. Sam Darnold is a little flat right now in New York. So San Francisco's now number 3. Now I don't have any insight on which guy they like. I'm going to roll the dice and say Trey Lance. Trey Lance is very mobile, big, strong, good kid, very humble. And by the way, Kyle Shanahan has mostly had quarterbacks that don't move. I think he likes the idea of having a big, strong kid that can move. By the way, Lance also called all of his own protections in college. So he's a very heady kid. This is a very complex offense. So I'm going to go Trey Lance, number 3. Now, this is where it gets dicey for me. This whole thing with Atlanta, I would not go for a quarterback. First of all, Matt Ryan's getting Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith saved Ryan Tannehill's career. So my belief is Matt Ryan and Arthur Smith, the numbers are going to go up, and we're going to be looking at Matt Ryan next year throwing 33 touchdowns with 9 picks, and you're going to be stuck with a backup quarterback. I think they got a million things to worry about. I would go get Penei Sewell, who is this left tackle from Oregon. And again, doesn't everybody in the NFL, outside of about 4 teams, need a great left tackle? So whether you have Matt Ryan, who's not overly mobile,
yeah.
Again, I would love for them to get a defensive player, but there's no way the Atlanta Falcons scouting department has any of these defensive players ahead of the 2 offensive linemen.
I could see them trading back, too.
Absolutely. So number 5, Cincinnati. And again, they're probably not going to move. I would protect Joe Burrow, who's coming off an injury. So let's go. Rashawn Slater, the offensive lineman from Northwestern. He can do tackle. So the good news with him, they've already got Jonah Williams, a left tackle, and they've already got 2 receivers, Boyd and T. Higgins, I like, and they have a star running back. So they've got some nice components on the offense, and Joe Burrow was very good early. What they don't have is a quarterback that's totally healthy. He's off an injury, and Slater grades very high. He went toe-to-toe with Chase Young at Ohio State and held his own. And I think that's a good pick for them. Okay, now it gets interesting. Miami at 6. So what has Miami told us? Let's just think about this. We're sticking with Tua. Now, we all think that's a little bit of a risk.
Yes.
So what they want to do to ensure that Tua succeeds, they get him Will Fuller. They already have 1 receiver I like. Then they get Will Fuller. And then they have a tight end I like. I say they get Kyle Pitts, who is the best tight end prospect I've ever seen. Played in the state of Florida. So now I got you a speed guy, Will Fuller, to go with a decent. I thought the Dolphins' receiving core was okay anyway. It wasn't a weakness. Now I get you an over-the-top Will Fuller. They've already got a tight end I like. Now you get a star tight end. So what they're telling you in Miami is, we're going to make this thing, if Tua can't work with these guys, we will know by Thanksgiving we don't have the right quarterback. But they're gonna do like Cleveland's doing with Baker Mayfield. We're just going to give you a bunch of weapons. And
the New York Giants with Daniel Jones.
So that's what these teams are doing. Like, we're going to give you the weapons, and we'll know by Thanksgiving if you can play or not. So now Detroit has 7. This is a tough because they need defense. But Kenny Golladay is gone. So Jared Goff comes in. He's got no weapons. I'm going to say Jamar Chase, the wide receiver at LSU, who's really a kind of a more complete potential receiver than Kenny Golladay. You can't bring Jared Goff in, and he has no number 1 wide receiver. You got to give him something to work with. So, again, I don't think they have so many needs. They have so many defensive needs. But, again, I think Chase probably grades higher than the defensive players at this spot. 8, Carolina. They need a quarterback. I'm going to say Justin Fields. So, I think, now again, I think they may move up to 4 eventually to ensure they get him. But I don't like to do trades before they happen with mock drafts. So I think they'll probably move up to Atlanta and make a deal. You hate to make a deal in your own division, though. Last thing you want to do is fortify Atlanta with a bunch of picks. So it's a dicey situation for Carolina. They drafted all defense last year, Joy.
Yeah.
My guess is they go Justin Fields, who I think has a chance to be really good. So now this is where I just go needs. So listen, Denver wants a quarterback, but I don't think Mac Jones, I'm not taking him there. So they just went out and bought Kyle Fuller, a very good corner from Chicago. I'll say what I said yesterday to Joel Klatt. I think they double down, get Caleb Farley, the Virginia Tech corner. They're so defensively, they have a million things to do, and I like their offensive personnel. I just don't love Drew Lock.
You have to have strong corners in that division.
And last year, you remember, Joy, they went after wide receiver talent. The year before, they went and got a star tight end. And they've got running back. So Denver's got your offensive components. But they're not good enough at quarterback to win shootouts. So they've got to keep these games in the 20s. So I think they go Farley, the corner. Dallas at number 10. Again, Dallas went and got a safety from Atlanta, who's more of an in the box safety. He'll be up near the line of scrimmage. I still think they have a corner they like, but they let Byron Jones go a year ago. I say they get Patrick Surtain, the Alabama corner. That would be my guess. They really should have addressed this last year, but they went and got CeeDee Lamb. So they're secondary. They haven't had a great safety since Darren Woodson. That's why they were in the Earl Thomas talks and the Jamal Adams talks. Their secondary is a problem, and it's doubled down as a problem when they don't have a pass rush. So Surtain's another great Alabama prospect. 11. See, again, the Giants have already solved. They went and got Kyle Rudolph. So I would have put Pitts with him. Nope. They went and got Kenny Golladay. All right, I would have done receiver for them. Nope. They went and just spent a fortune on Adoree Jackson. So they don't need a corner. So when I look at the Giants, to me, I say protect Daniel Jones. That's the only thing. I mean, they've addressed their defensive line, wide receiver, tight end, corner. They've spent money on it. I say they go Elijah Vera Tucker, USC. They drafted their left tackle last year. He's a left guard. He was great. He can also play tackle. These days in the NFL, if you can play left tackle, you play right tackle, vice versa. You kind of just, everybody now looks at tackles as kind of both ways, unless you're the Becton for the Jets looks like a left tackle should look. So I would go Elijah Vera Tucker because I just think the Giants answered all their questions in free agency. And then Philadelphia, again, we've got Jalen Hurts. Now, the offensive line's healthy, but I think you have to go out and help him. And so I'm going to say Devontae Smith, wide receiver, Alabama. I don't think there's an offensive lineman at that spot they'd be comfortable with. And again, he's a playmaker. And if you have a young quarterback, you got to give him a shot. You got to be fair. You got to give these kids something to work with. And Devontae, a lot of years at Alabama. Alabama has a pretty sophisticated system, so he's going to come in and be able to figure things out pretty quick. So this is for, now again, what I really believe is Atlanta at 4 and Carolina or Denver. I think Carolina 8, Denver 9. See, I think Atlanta would make a deal with Denver at 9.
Yes.
So my guess is Denver's going to make a move at 9 to move up to 4 for Atlanta, because I don't know how you get out of the Matt Ryan situation for 2 years, and he's not bad anyway. That's not their issue.
They don't need a quarterback. I would move back if I was Atlanta.
So this is the world's most accurate mock draft for
the
at least
next 5 minutes.
Yeah, until we go to break.
Let's check Twitter.
But I will. My prediction is Denver at 9 will make a trade with Atlanta at 4.
Well, we know that there's a lot of teams on that that top 12 that need quarterbacks, and now that other teams are being aggressive, this can catch fire because it's
this is what happens.
This is what happens, and we know that Cincinnati is not an aggressive organization.
That's right. So Atlanta is going to get calls from Carolina and Denver. They don't want to make a deal with somebody in their division. That's just the way it is. Last thing I want to do is,
help someone in your
help
division.
you. I'm not going to give you a quarterback I have to face. That's just not the way it works. So Atlanta at 4 and Denver at 9. Because right now, Cincinnati doesn't need a quarterback. Miami's got Tua. Detroit's got Goff. So 8 and 9 need quarterbacks. And if you need a quarterback, you're not going to just sit there and pray they fall. You're just not.
Yeah, because this I love it, might could change.
So I think the first Denver, listen, we know Denver wants to move up. You cannot be in a division with Justin Herbert, Derek Carr, and Patrick Mahomes. You're fourth place. Write it down right now. Denver fourth.
I hope if they stick with Tua that this is how it works out and they get Kyle Pitts. I don't know. I'm not entirely convinced that they're sticking with Tua.
Okay, so give me the Miami skill people right now. So it is Mike, the tight end, Mike Gesicki, who's a really tough kid. I really like him. With Kyle